Can't eat anything past 6 o'clock or you'll gain weight? Do you want a six-pack? If so, dude, you need to be training your abs every single day, every single week, for at least 2 hours. Having a meal with some chicken and some tuna? Dude, that's 40 grams of protein. Your body's not going to be able to absorb that straight away. It's a waste. Guys, whether you are new to the gym or you are an experienced lifter, it's this type of bro science that has an impact on your training and nutrition. That's not always a good thing. As promised, in today's video, I'm going over 5 fitness myths that I most commonly hear. We're going to debunk them. We're going to get scientific on your ass. So sit back, relax, and get ready to learn. Intro. Started off with number 1, and that's you can't have carbs past 6 o'clock because you will gain weight. Now I can get where this came from. When we are inactive, mainly at night, our metabolism does slow down, and people often correlate slow metabolisms to weight gain. We've all got that friend that claims he has a fast metabolism so he can eat anything he wants and not gain weight. We also have those friends that eat little, but due to their slow metabolism, they put on weight stupidly quick. Now if you are not into fitness or your nutrition, then I can understand where this misconception comes from, but that's not the case. Your body doesn't work on a clock, so to say. Your body works on a total daily caloric intake. So whether you're trying to lose weight or gain muscle, whether you're in a caloric deficit or a caloric surplus, as long as you are hitting your daily calories, the timing of your meals has no impact on your weight gain itself. The only time I can even think that it will have any impact on your diet, whether it's gaining muscle or losing weight, is if you're used to having your meals earlier in the day and then for some reason you have a meal at 12 o'clock. The next day, yeah, you are going to weigh more, not due to fat gain, due to the fact that the process of digestion is still happening because you had a meal later on at night. Guys, at the end of the day, protein, carbs and fats are just an energy source that our body requires to function on a day-to-day basis. Just because a certain time of day comes around does not mean your body just instantly switches to fat storing mode. It works on a day or sometimes weekly caloric intake. Myth number 2, your body can only absorb 30 grams of protein per meal. This myth came about years and years ago when a bunch of scientists did a test on the absorption and digestion per hour on certain types of protein sources. I'm going to put a table on the side of the screen so you can see the 4 or 5 different protein sources that they tested. Basically what they did is they had people consume a certain amount of protein from a certain protein source, and they calculated per hour how much protein was digested. Now the thing with this is they done it on an hourly rate. Not only that, but there was slight confusion between protein absorption and protein utilization. If you want more information on this topic, I'm going to link down in the description a channel called Athlean X. Jeff Cavalier, the guy who runs the channel, talks about this video or talks about this topic in much greater detail. So be sure, if you want more information about this topic, go down in the description, click on that video. It's an excellent scientific video that will give you as much information as you can. But for the bare basics for this video, it's not true. Your body is not smart enough to realise that you are only getting 30 grams of protein in and to cut it off at the end of that. I personally have had meals with 50, 40, sometimes even 60 grams of protein in, and I noticed no difference whatsoever. And I haven't read an article that gives an accurate scientific explanation of why your body would only consume a certain amount of protein per hour. Well, a certain amount of protein per meal. Myth number 3, and you'll hear this a lot around old school bodybuilders, and that's you need to be eating every 2 hours in order to fuel your anabolic window. Now first of all, anabolic just refers to your body being in a state of growth. On the opposite end of the spectrum, there's also catabolic, which is the term for your body being in a state of breakdown. And this is the funny thing, because you'll see people that are in diets or going on cuts, and they'll be eating every 2 hours in order to stay anabolic, which is the complete opposite to what a diet does. If you are in a diet, your body is in a catabolic state, meaning your body's in a state of breakdown. So it's breaking down fat in order to fuel your exercises or your day-to-day routine. You can't be in both states at once. You can't be in a catabolic state cutting and hitting an anabolic window. does not make sense. The only way your body will ever be anabolic is if you are in a caloric surplus or you're bulking, whether that's lean bulking or dirty bulking. I get where this came from. This old school bodybuilders, very old school bodybuilders, saying, well, they did this and it worked for them. But at the end of the day, they were hitting their overall caloric intake, their caloric goal for the day. And to be honest, if that was the case, people that fast would be screwed. Fasting is basically consuming your food in a certain amount of time. That can be a 6 to 8 hour window or anything above. If you had to eat every 2 hours, people that were fasting or consuming their meals in 6 to 8 to 10 hours would be screwed. They'd never be making gains. But then you see all these YouTube channels of people that do fast and do implement this. A few that I know of, Eagle, Vitruvian Physique, Rob Lipsit's done it before. Christian Guzman even fasts until maybe 11 o'clock, and these are guys that are in phenomenal shape and that have come first in most shows they've competed. Guys, it's just a myth. There's no science behind it. You don't need to eat every 2 hours. That will just be an issue and hassle to take a lot of Tupperware containers to work. If you work a full-time desk job, you just won't be able to get it in. So have your meals when you feel hungry, or have your meals at your own convenience. Don't feel you have to have them every few hours. As long as you're hitting your daily caloric intake, you will be heading towards your goal. Number 4, this is one that I don't often hear a lot, but it's one that I see the general population having an issue with, and that's you need to be doing some form of cardio in order to lose weight. Now there's some truth to this, but we'll get into that. The basics of it, in order to lose weight, you just need to be consuming less calories than your body requires. Say for example, you have someone whose daily caloric intake, his maintenance calories is 2,000. In order for that said individual to lose weight, he just needs to be consuming 250 to 500, depending on how aggressive you want your diet, anywhere up to 700 calories below that number, and you'll be losing weight. Now you can hit this caloric deficit by 2 ways. You can A, do cardio, or you can B, do it through the depletion of food. So rather than having 2,000 calories worth of food and then doing 600 calories cardio to take you into that caloric deficit, you would just consume 1,400 calories. You'll still be in that 600 caloric deficit, but you won't need to be doing cardio alongside it to put yourself into the deficit you're already in. Now for the general population that just want to get a good body for summer, or just want to be shedding a few pounds, reducing the amount of food you have is a great way of putting yourself in a caloric deficit and allowing that to happen. Now if you're someone like me that has a fat kid hiding inside them and you just love to eat, that's when cardio would come into play. You would consume your 2,000 calories of just normal foods, and then you would do your cardio, putting you into that deficit. Now in summary, you can lose weight through the depletion of food or through implementing cardio. Either one, or you can combine them both together, but you don't need cardio in order to lose weight. The 5th and final myth that I hear, and I think we all hear all the time, and we've all been guilty of doing this at some point, is thinking you can specifically lose fat from a certain type of your body. You'll mainly hear this when people say they want to get a 6-pack, so they train abs every single day, doing hundreds and hundreds of crunches in order to shed the fat around their stomachs. And it's not the case. Fat depletion does not work like that. But that's not the case. Fat depletion works throughout your whole entire body. No matter what exercises you're doing, your body will lose fat from wherever it wants and wherever it feels like it wants to. This meaning, if you're doing a bench press, you're not losing fat necessarily from your pecs. If you're doing bicep curls, you're not going to be losing fat from your arms. If you want to deplete your fat and you want to get visible abs, you're going to have to go on a diet, and you're going to have to go through weeks and weeks and weeks of being in a caloric deficit and shedding that body fat, because it's going to come from all over. And I get where this comes from massively. In order to grow muscle, we need to be doing specific exercises for that muscle. If you want to grow your arms, you do bicep curls, tricep extensions. If you want to build your chest or legs, you do bench press or some squats. Fat depletion, although it falls under the same umbrella of fitness itself, they're two completely different separate categories. So fat depletion will only ever happen when you're in a caloric deficit. You can't be losing fat while hitting above maintenance calories. That won't work. Basically, you will be doing exercises and your body will burn fat from wherever it wants. You could be doing squats and burning fat from your arms. You could be doing a bench press and burning fat from your abs or your back. You can't specifically target fat loss itself. Now again, I'm going to put a video in the description by a guy named Eagle, or Vitruvian Physique as he's most commonly known as, about fat distribution and this topic in general. And it's another incredibly scientific based video that's going to go into a lot more detail than I can. Again, I'm just here to dispel these myths, give you the information, and then give you guys the resources to do your own research outside of it. So link in the description for that. Go check it out. You will not regret it. So guys, we're going to bring this video to an end. It feels like I haven't seen your faces in ages. Probably because I haven't. Been gone for 2 weeks for 5 Fridays, but now we are back and we're going to kick some ass. I have a bunch of videos planned for the next few weeks, so stay tuned. Like, subscribe if this video helped, and I will see you next Friday.